jump back into some more terms. So I want to ask, Bob, is there a term that you've heard that we have not covered yet that maybe you would be like, oh, what does this mean?
Well, so a second ago you mentioned staking, and I think that would be a great term to define.
Awesome. Yeah. So staking is essentially what happens is, because cryptocurrency is a network, by people using tokens, that's what a lot of the tokens have utility. They are created in order to help secure the network, supply the network with assets and funds. And so what will happen is projects will allow you to do what is called staking. That means you provide tokens that you've purchased. You've purchased the tokens, you now hold them. So let's say it's Ethereum or one of the other networks that are out there. And what you're able to do is you send those tokens to a wallet address, and they utilize your tokens as an essential part of supporting the network, supporting the entire ecosystem, and they pay you a return. It could be as much as a several 100% per year. It could be 30%, 20%, depending on the project. And of course, usually ones with higher returns have what? Higher risk, right? And that's the side that you're going to look at when you're doing that. But most of the major projects have some form of staking that is available that's with that project, and they're going to be used. And so it is a great way to, especially if you're going to hold on to crypto and you say, hey, I'm going to keep Ethereum for the next 5 years, then you may want to stake it. So then you're earning a return on it while it's sitting there, right? While you're holding on to it. Now you have additional crypto. When it goes up in price, of course, that's going to give you a better ROI on that investment.
Right, and you can stake this inside your wallet.
So Reflection is in your wallet, and there are a few that are doing some types of staking in wallet. Usually, you're going to send it from your wallet to the project's wallet. They're going to then utilize it in their ecosystem, and then they're going to pay you a return. So most staking, you need to send it out to an additional wallet. So you want to make sure that it's with the core project, because if you're holding onto those tokens, you've got to believe in the core project and that you're sending those tokens to the right address for that core project. And then, you're not worried about somebody running off with it. I would not stake with a third party. That's when it gets dangerous, right? Is when you're staking with third parties. Some of the exchanges will work deals with the projects to have staking done in that sense. Of course, you're on the exchange, they're already holding your money. So there's not as much fear of them running off with it, because if they're going to run off with it, they're going to run off with it whether you have it staked or not, right? On that side of it. But so staking is a great way. I have several projects that I'm staked with where I'm earning, one of the projects, ChainX is one of the projects. PCX is their token symbol. I have quite a bit staked there. I was getting a 42% return. They just did a halving, but it's about 21%. And of course it compounds, right? Because I can go claim my stake and I can restake it, and claim my stake and I can restake it. So it's a great way to grow, especially if you believe in the staking. For me, is you believe in the long term of that project. If you're ever in a project for short-term gains, then don't stake with it. If you're in a project for long-term gains because you believe in the long-term feasibility of the project, then I would definitely consider staking, because it's going to help you grow that on top of the price of the token going up.
Right. So Peter, you keep referring to the phrase project, and I have an assumption. I think I know what that is, but for the benefit of our viewers, do you mind sort of explaining what you mean by project?
Yeah, and so because crypto is networks, that's really what refers to the companies, the project. So Ethereum is a project as well. TruBadger is a project, and that's a big way to do it, because when you're in the crypto space, some like TruBadger, we're forming right now in Wyoming, and eventually we'll have a corporate structure. A lot of crypto projects, they haven't really taken that step to go from the project stage to an entity stage. And so it's just a term that's used in this space as, hey, I'm getting involved in this project over here. It could mean a corporate structure, or it could just mean it's a group of people that have gotten together and formed a cryptocurrency and are growing a business without formal corporate structure in place.
Right. So one more thing, when you were talking about entities in the space, some people might be familiar with like Pancake Swap, but maybe not know what they do and what role they play.
Yeah, so Pancake Swap is when we talked about decentralized exchanges. They are a decentralized exchange. So a group of people got together, wrote the programs, wrote the software, and then they've launched it. And so with a decentralized exchange, as I was saying, all the liquidity that's provided on there is provided by people that are participants on Pancake Swap. So I'm a token holder. I decide I want to take my tokens and put them up for liquidity on a project. If I put it up, I have to put up let's say I had Ethereum, and I want to put Ethereum up on Pancake Swap to be provided as liquidity. And of course, liquidity providing allows for someone that wants to buy or sell the token to have both parts of the equation, right? So I want to buy Ethereum through Pancake Swap, or I want to sell Ethereum through Pancake Swap. The liquidity provider provides both sides of that. It would provide the BNB, which is the main token of Pancake Swap, and it would provide Ethereum. And so if somebody wants to buy Ethereum, there's Ethereum there for them to take off the exchange. And if they want to sell Ethereum, there's BNB for them to pull it off. That's the swap that they're going to do. And for doing that, you get a percentage of the transaction fees that are collected. So it's a way for you to earn money while you're going through that process. Centralized exchanges do not use it. You can't provide liquidity on a centralized exchange. You can provide liquidity on a decentralized exchange like Pancake Swap. So Pancake Swap is the exchange for your BSC tokens, which is the Binance Smart Chain. And Uniswap is the largest at least, for the ERC20, which is the Ethereum chain.
So many terms to learn. So on Pancake Swap, when you're going to buy a token, sometimes you'll have to buy it through something called MoonPay, I think is the phrase I saw last when I was there.
And that would be to be able to take fiat and then go to cryptocurrency, right? So the native cryptocurrency that Pancake Swap is based on is BNB. So that's the chain that it represents, and that's the chain that it's on. There are some exchanges coming up, decentralized, that will do multiple tokens, but the most successful ones focus on one token, one type of it. So MoonPay is one where you can go and use credit cards to purchase, depending on where you're at, and there's a lot of other ones that are out there where you can now use credit cards to purchase it. Some won't do it in certain states. That's part of the whole craziness of the space. It's why we set up our Zoom room. It's why we walk people through it, because we're always keeping up on that stuff. So we can say, hey, what state are you in? And you say, hey, I'm in Florida. Oh, you can't use this solution, but you can use this one. A lot of it's too banks. Some banks are more friendly to crypto than other banks, right? Using a credit card for Wells Fargo, very, very difficult. Using a credit card to buy crypto with Bank of America, pretty easy and seamless. And I'm not here to promote any bank, so I have banking accounts at all of them. So I'm an equal opportunity banker or a customer for that. So,
well, I mean, do you think that people should be? I mean, obviously, MoonPay isn't a brand name, household name like Visa or MasterCard. So the first time it says, you have to purchase it through MoonPay, you might be like, what the heck is MoonPay, and is it safe?
Yeah, and that's again due diligence, making sure that you're doing that. Some are using Trustpilot as ways to verify whether they are trustworthy or not. Some of it's seeing how long they're around. I'm very skeptical anytime I go to anything in the crypto space. Skepticism is your friend. It is better to do more due diligence. Scam artists use the fear of missing out. So you got to hurry up and get this done. Anytime somebody says I have to hurry to buy something, I stop and just say, okay, that's not for me. Yeah, it might go up a little bit. You may miss a little bit of a return, but it's better to do that than to lose all your money, right? Because you jump into things too quickly. There's a lot of forms. You can go into not just our chat, but there's other legitimate projects and go ask, has anybody ever used MoonPay to buy something, right? And you should get legitimate people that will come in and say it. If they say, hey, I have a solution for you, jump on here's a link for you. Don't click on the link. Don't take you're not asking them to suggest a place to do. You're just asking them if they've used the project and if they've been successful with it. So these are some of the ways that you can verify it. I think when you're online or doing anything with crypto, you have to assume that the person on the other side is trying to scam you and then make them prove that they're not there to scam you. Okay. And that's why with us, we use Zoom rooms because you can see the person that you're dealing with, right? You can see it's a real person. It's not somebody in a dark dungeon in North Korea or somewhere else running some type of scam, or in Africa or somewhere, right? That's running a scam, and they've got 45 computers set up and they're all trying to figure out how to get your money. So yeah, definitely skepticism is your friend. That is the term that we will cover the most. Skepticism. Believe that everybody is trying to take your money and trying to cheat you. And then again, let them prove that they're not.
Speaking of cheating, I've got one more term of art, and then I'll leave it to your list of terms to explain, which was rug pull.
Rug pull. That is the scam artist of scam artists, guys. That is when somebody develops a project with no intention of ever producing any software, any utility, any value for anyone except for themselves. And so they'll set up websites. They'll write smart contracts. They will put on a show. They'll do AMAs. They'll do all kinds of things to convince you that it is a real project. And as soon as you put the money into it, they will then pull the liquidity right out of the marketplace and they'll run off with 100% of it. Or they do what are called slow rug pulls, which means they'll put enough tokens in sub wallets. And then as the price starts going up, they're continually selling from multiple wallets. So there's fast rug pulls and there's slow rug pulls. That is actually the reason why we created Safufied, is to prevent those type of things. So our goal in the marketplace with TruBadger, Safufied, Catapult is to stop the scam artists from being able to take advantage of people. In our community, we've had people fall for these scams, lose, substantial amounts of money. And so we're doing our best to prevent it. And the reason why is we believe in the blockchain. Over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, the impact that this will have on our world, I don't think anybody actually fully understands how much it will change our lives. It's kind of like the internet, right? If we were back in 1995, Amazon was just starting. I don't think you could have sat down with anybody and said, hey, how will the internet look in 2021? How much, right now we came home from being out yesterday and there were 6 packages on our door from Amazon, right? There's no way that you would have been able to convince me in 95 that my wife would hardly ever go to the store anymore, right? That our groceries would be brought to the house from Shipt, right? We use Shipt. And so we don't go to the grocery store anymore. Somebody else goes there, goes up and down the aisles, pulls all our stuff, brings it to our house, right? That's the kind of stuff I don't think you would have been able to do. And I think it's going to be the same way. And I know it's going to be the same way. I am telling you right now, you can write this down, clip this part out. The blockchain will change just about every aspect of your life in the future. Right. And with that being the case, by the way, and this is something that I just learned. Do you know that the adoption of cryptocurrency is faster than the adoption of the internet? Right now,
I would believe
the current rate of growth of this is ahead of where the internet was when it was growing, which means, and if you understand exponential growth, means if it's growing faster now, it has the opportunity to be much bigger than what the internet, the impact of the internet. These are facts, guys. This is not my opinion. That is a fact that right now, the cryptocurrency blockchain is outpacing the growth of what the internet did in any time frame that it is. So it is the fastest adoption of any technology that has ever happened in human history.
So Peter, I lied about having only one last term for you to define. We tossed the phrase blockchain around a lot, but yes. I don't know if anyone knows what that means.
And it's a good question, and it's actually simple, right? So Essentially a blockchain is when they take data and information. So transactions, they are stored in blocks, blocks of information, and that's the way they're stored in the data. A blockchain is a chain of those blocks. The good part about it is that the blocks are stored on a network of computers, a decentralized network, not a centralized network. So instead of 1 or 5 or 10 computers holding it, where somebody can go easily hack and make a change in 5 or 10 computers, a network of tens of thousands of computers all hold the same information on it. And what happens in the blockchain is it looks at those and says, is all the information correct? If the majority say the information is correct, then that's the correct information. Now the next data starts coming in. It forms a second block. The second block has the data from the first block and the data from the second block. So it's able to say that information is accurate and the new information is accurate. And then it does a third block. The third block then has the information from the last block, but the middle block then has the information from the third block and the first block. And so it's a chain of information that keeps the integrity of the data and that information and make sure there's not a double spend, right? You can't spend the same Bitcoin twice because it's already been transferred to another wallet and that is kept into it. It uses cryptology to do it. The most advanced cryptology is used, so it's unhackable. So you've got the unhackability, you've got the safety of a decentralized network, and then you have the integrity of the data because it's kept from block to block.
Right. All right. So I got one more. So a lot of folks have heard about Bitcoin and how much energy it uses. And there's a difference between Bitcoin and ETH in terms of how they're proved, I guess, right? Is that the term of art?
Yeah. So it's basically on a network. It's with Bitcoin, it's mined. And so people solve mathematical equations and they compete to mine the Bitcoin. And that's the reason why. And it does take a lot of energy to do that. However, I do want to correct one thing. If you look at the amount of energy it takes to mine Bitcoin and the amount of energy that it takes to run the current economic, financial system, Bitcoin takes a lot less energy to run Bitcoin than it does the whole monetary thing. It does take more. So what happened is when other projects started coming around, they said, look, mining takes a lot of energy. So what we're going to do is create what's called proof of stake, which essentially we talked about staking, right? So proof of staking is it's not created through the mathematical equations. You're creating the token through staking other tokens. So you're basically mining them virtually online versus physical. So you have one that's physical, crunching of numbers and computing, and one that is being created through software.
All right, so I think that exhausts my list. There might be more on yours or Corey's or Dawn's.
I think we covered most of them, guys. Is there any one that stands out to you guys that we should cover? The definitions we're going to provide, I'll have a whole bunch of other definitions in there that they can look at and they can start referencing. There's quite a few other resources available to get the terms. We just thought it was very good to have a discussion about the terms. Sometimes you just read the definition. It's not as good as having a discussion about them and how they apply in real life. So we tried to not just give the definition, but actually how do they apply and how they affect each person.
Well, Peter, if we've covered the landscape, I think we'll wrap up and thank you as always for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with our FinStream viewers. It's Dawn, Corey, been a great show.
Well, we enjoy it. And again, our goal is to grow the entire cryptosphere. I was listening to a person last night, and this is so important, okay? Either we as individuals will leave it to the wealthy to keep getting wealthier because they are engaging in the blockchain space. They are engaging in crypto. What my hope is that we get enough individuals that this is truly a redistribution of wealth, not just the same people that are informed and have the information, the special bank, clients of Wells Fargo now and Chase that can buy Bitcoin. They give you a hard time when you try to use your credit card, but they have their special clients buying it. I hope that what the information we're getting out and what we're doing allows for individual people to take control of their financial future, engage, learn, get educated, and then help us get other people involved. So again, this redistribution of wealth is not just money going from one wealthy person to another. It's money that's going back into the hands of everyday people that at some point want to retire, some point want to upgrade their lifestyle, some point are going to have kids go to college, and they want to be able to afford to do that, not have to go into debt and borrow against that. And that is the opportunity that's here. And that's why we love sharing this information and getting it out to as many people as possible.